And I'm going to show you how easy they've made this system. But before we get started, let's talk about what exactly is the Kindle. Well, the Kindle is a portable ebook reader that's about the size of your standard 6x9 paperback book. Right? It's just a lot thinner. As a matter of fact, if you look in the right-hand corner of your screen, you should see a Kindle device. Now, this is one of their newest devices. It's called the Kindle Fire. And what's cool about this thing is you can go in and you can literally shop the Amazon.com site, okay, purchase and instantly download ebooks, articles, blogs, magazines, and just about anything else, and instantly start to read it in just a matter of seconds, all right? And it's totally changing the way that we read. As a matter of fact, what I want to do is I want you guys to hang on, okay, because at the very end of this presentation, and this is something that I didn't plan on doing, but I want to do this just because Tom and Rich told me that you guys are just an extra special group of people. I'm going to give away an Amazon Kindle, okay? So does that sound good? All right, so I want to give away an Amazon Kindle, and I want you guys to pay extra special attention. All right, Jacqueline says, woohoo! Awesome, Jacqueline. Ellen says, yes. All right, so remind me about that, okay? Now, right now, there's a shift that's taking place where people are buying and consuming written material in the form of ebooks and articles and white papers and blogs more than ever before. As a matter of fact, if you guys are old enough to remember, there was a similar shift that took place in the music industry where we went from listening to our music in the form of vinyl records. How many people are old enough to remember that? Vinyl records. Remember, this is going to be interactive. I want us all to participate. This is a group effort. Who's old enough? Mike says, I am. 33s and 45, says Gary. Awesome. Susan says, what's that? Come on, Susan. Someone says, I'm not admitting. I like that. All right. Brian, do you see the answers that are coming in here? Tom, you guys are right, man. This is a killer crowd. I love this.
I see the 78, says Daniel. I still have several boxes in 45s, says Wayne. Stan remembers 78s. You know, we didn't think about 78s. My gosh.
I totally forgot about that, right. So now, here's the thing, guys. We went from listening to our music in the form of vinyl records, right? And then we went from vinyl to 8 tracks. And then after that, Brian, what was it? It was 8 tracks to...
8 tracks to cassettes.
To cassettes. And then we went from cassettes, right, to CDs. And when we went to CDs, we really thought we were doing something, right? Like, we really thought we reached this barrier of just advanced technology. But now, if you think about it, we primarily listen to our music in form of a digital music file, like a WAV file or an MP3 file or the iPods or the fancy iPhones. I think, Brian, you have one of those new iPhones or so, or something like that you've got. But guys, think about that, right? So the same shift that took place in the music industry is also taking place in the publishing industry. As a matter of fact, right now, according to Jeff Bezos, Amazon's CEO, right, they released a press release that stated for every 100 hardcover books Amazon sells, they sell nearly double that amount. So they sell 180 Kindle digital books. This press release was released a few months ago, so I'm sure that number has grown by now. But just think about that. For every 100 hardcover books Amazon sells, they sell double that amount in a digital format. All right. So right now, this shift that's taking place is just it's really creating a couple of lucrative income streams for some individuals, including myself and a lot of my students and other individuals as well. And I want to show you guys just 3 examples of how you can easily take this system and really profit from it without even being a writer. Like, I'm by far not a writer, okay, but I do extremely well with this. One of the first examples is a young lady by the name of Amanda Hawkins. She's 26. Get this, 26 years old. She's from Minnesota, and right now she's making millions of dollars publishing stories to Kindle. As a matter of fact, I want to deviate from this slide for a second. Forbes magazine recently released an article in which they talk about Mrs. Hawkins, and here's the article here. It talks about who wants to be a Kindle millionaire. This is from the Forbes site. And then they go on to talk about how she's made just multiple millions of dollars publishing content to Amazon's Kindle. All right, so that's just one example of someone who's doing extremely well with this. Another example of someone that's doing extremely well is a gentleman by the name of Stephen Lever. And he's from the UK, and he sells about 2,000 ebooks a day. Now, guys, that is not a typo. I didn't mean to say 2,000 ebooks a year, or even 2,000 ebooks a month, or even 2,000 ebooks a week, but 2,000 ebooks a day. Now, even if he sold these at just 99 cents, he would still turn a handsome profit, right? I mean, we can all live with that, I think, right? So, ladies, you would probably be able to buy a lot of nice shoes with that, right? Do you agree, guys? We could do some pretty cool things with 2,000 $2,000 a day coming in. And the third example is a gentleman by the name of John Locke. And again, according to Amazon, this was according to a press release that they had released. John Locke became the first person to sell 1 million Kindle ebooks. And get this, he did it in a span of 5 months. And he did it with just 9 titles, okay? These are just some of the individuals that are doing extremely well with this. And there's people that are out there that are making hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month with this system, tens of thousands of dollars a month. And some of these individuals are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Now, originally, the only place that you were able to purchase a Kindle from was directly from the Amazon site, right? Directly from the Amazon site. And Amazon, they had so much success with this thing, with the Kindle device, that they approached some of these physical retail stores, the Best Buys, the Targets, the Staples, and they said, we have this Kindle device, and we think it's going to change the way people read, all right? And he said, we'd like to put it in your stores so that we can test the markets. And what they did was they found out that just as they had an incredible amount of success with the Kindle being sold directly from their site, they had just a huge amount of success with it being sold from these physical retail outlets, the Best Buys, the Targets, and the Staples. Now, as Amazon is paying attention to what's taking place here and the amount of success that's taking place, guess who else is watching? Walmart. Walmart is in the corner, and they're taking note as to how well this Kindle device is selling. And they soon approach Amazon, and they say, Amazon, we see that you guys have a blockbuster hit on your hand. We want a piece of the action. Will you allow us to sell, okay, your Kindle device in our store? And guys, what do you think Amazon says to Walmart when Walmart approaches them with that proposition? And Brian, let me know what they're saying. What are some of the results? What are they saying in the questions box?
Well, so far, here we go. Heck yeah, says Debbie. Okay, guys, you can. Yeah, Heather says yes. Hell, I got heck yeah, hell yeah. Of course. Gwen says duh. Oh yeah, baby. Absolutely, says Marianne. I like the hell yeah. That was great, Daniel. Of course, yes, yes. No one says no to Walmart.
Chuck, you got it, Chuck. Chuck says no one says to Walmart. Of course, says Gene. And I got Brian Douglas here. He's one of my top students, so I thought, who better to help? And who better to help present with this than one of my top students, someone who's not only a top student, but someone who's helped people for the last quarter of a century change their lives financially. So Brian's just an awesome guy. So, right, absolutely. So Amazon said yes to Walmart, all right, because they know that once you hit Walmart, once something becomes sold at a Walmart, it now makes it out to the masses, okay? And right now there are millions and millions of people that own Kindle devices. As a matter of fact, just in the month of December alone, there were over 4 million Kindle devices sold. Now, Amazon, they're pretty smart, right? They've got a smart group of people there, and they realize that not everyone will go in and purchase a physical Kindle device, and not everyone will visit the Amazon site to purchase a physical Kindle device. So what they did was they came up with the Kindle application, okay, which is pretty cool. And this is the Kindle application, and what you can do with this thing is you can also install it or download it onto any of these devices here, your PCs, your Macintoshes, your iPods, your Blackberries, your Androids. As a matter of fact, this is an Android phone with the Kindle application on it. And once you have this installed on any of your devices, it functions just like your regular Kindle. So you can go in, you can browse the Amazon site, you can purchase ebooks, and you can download them in just a matter of seconds, and you can begin reading them that quickly, okay? And something else that Amazon has done that's pretty cool is they started to run television commercials, again, because they want to reach the masses. They want to reach as many people as possible. Something else that I saw recently was a Kindle magazine ad. So it was a full-page ad on the back of a magazine. Now, why do you think they want to reach the masses, guys? All right, we're going to get into the content now, but I want to ask you guys this question really quickly. Why do you think they want to reach the masses? All right. Michael says to sell more Kindles. Marion says more money. Mike Combs says more money. Well, think about this, guys. Bigger market niche equals more money, says Lynn. What do you have, Brian?
Yeah. Rick says more sales.
More sales.
A lot more money. Mike says a lot more money. Randy says sell more ebooks, baby. Content becomes king.
Absolutely.
That's what Ann says. Ann says content becomes continuity. Very good. Self-creation of the market. Absolutely, Mike. This is great. Marsha's like revolutionize reading. Amazon gets a piece of the action, says Scott. Yeah.
Absolutely. Who says continuity? What do you have there, Brian?
Debbie Jeffers says world domination.
You know what? Ann just said something. Okay, we've got two people that hit. Ann H says content becomes continuity, and you've got it to agree. And then I see Sean. Sean says,
Sean's got it right on target. Yes.
Kindles is the razor, and content becomes the blades.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, Sean. You hit it right on the head. Guys, think about it. How many of you guys own printers, right? Now, you might have purchased a printer, and you might have paid 30, 40, 50 bucks for the printer, right? But the continued sale comes in the form of the cartridges, the ink that you have to purchase for that printer, right? It's just like the old Kodak cameras. You would buy the camera, but you would have to continuously buy new film. It's just like the razor blade that Sean just said. You buy the blade, or you actually buy the razor, and you continuously have to buy the blades. So it's that content. The Kindle is the device, but the ebooks is where the money is made. All right? Back end, Diane. Back end, more and more sales. Absolutely, Diane. You got it. All right, so smart group. Absolutely. I love this. So right now, you guys are at ground level of what is being called a digital diamond mine, and I want to show you guys just some of the money that I've been able to make, literally just goofing off with this, because originally at first I didn't take it too serious. And what I'm about to show you, these are actually just some of the physical checks that I received when I first started publishing content to Amazon's Kindle. And I say physical checks because Amazon pays you in two different ways. You can either receive a physical check by mail, or they can pay you by what's known as electronic funds transfers, so EFT. Right now I have my account set to the EFT option, where they electronically deposit my royalties into my account every single month. The earnings that I'm about to share with you here are not typical, and I can't guarantee that you'll make the same amount. There's a lot of different factors. Everyone is different. This is an extremely easy system. Amazon's made it extremely easy, but there's still a good chance that you may make less or even more money than what you see here. As I shared with you earlier, some people are making hundreds and multiple thousands of dollars a month. So let's take a look. Here's one of the first checks that I got, right? And this was in the amount of $2,297.30. $2,297.30. Now, when I got this, guys, I'm not afraid of admitting that the light bulb didn't go off right away. All right, it did not go off right away. I had a few other things that I was trying. How many of us, we try multiple things at once, and it totally distracts us, right? We miss the opportunities. Well, I was trying a few other things, and the light bulb just didn't go off right away. So it didn't go off until the next month when I got my next check. And I didn't do anything different within that 30-day period. So I went from $2,297.30 to the next month, $2,873.13. Now, when I got this check in the mailbox, I went down to my P.O. box and I picked it up. And I said, wow, I didn't do anything within the last 30 days, but I saw a $600 increase, nearly a $600 increase, a 25% increase. And I didn't do anything different. I didn't add any new content to my account. Can anyone, because you guys are a smart group, can anyone tell me why I saw such a huge increase, a 25% increase, without me doing anything different in my account? What do you guys think that was a result of? What do you think? So let's see. Who's the first?
They're typing in now. Here we go. Len says referrals. Your book went up in the listings due to sales, says Maggie. Good content. Here we go. Ann's got it right there. More Kindle owners. Word of mouth, says Andrew.
Ann has it. More Kindle owners, and then Mike has it as well. More users using Kindle. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. So write this down. First thing you should write down is, number one, you're going to make two ways of making money with this system. Okay? Is number one, as more people get exposed to the market, and by that I mean as more people become owners of either this physical Kindle device, or as more people go in and download the Kindle application. That marketplace grows. So you now have more people that your ebooks are exposed to. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense, guys. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Gary says yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mike Combs, yep. Len, Joe, Debbie,
Yep.
Andrew, yes.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the second way that you're going to make money, and write this one down, is as you add more content. High-quality content, guys. Quality content. So always think quality over quantity. The second way that you're going to make money is as you add more content to your account. Does that make sense? Okay, Michael says yes. Gary says yes. Mike Combs, yep. Len says yes. Sean says yes. Okay, absolutely.
And Sean said, did you do any marketing? And the answer is, we did nothing. That was the market doing it for us. That's the beauty of this.
Amazon's a built-in marketing machine, as you guys will see
Exactly.
in just a bit. We'll show you that as well. So now, for next month, when I got this check here, I went from, like I said, we went from 97.30 cents, and then I went to $2,873.13 for next month. And when I saw this, I said, you know what? I've got to start doing something different. All right? Do things differently, you get different results, right? So I said, I'm going to add more content to my account. I started doing that, and then the next month I went from $2,873.13 to, bam, $4,462.53. So this was a 55% increase. Now, when I saw this, I said, wow, there's really something here. Let me start applying some of the things that I know about internet marketing, and I started testing things like titles and price points and description elements and just a few other factors, and I went from $4,462.53 to $8,403.84. All right, and at this time, I'm just excited. I'm doing the Irish jig. I'm not Irish, but I'm in the kitchen. I'm doing the Irish jig because I see the potential. Now, as I shared with you guys earlier, I've tried different products, different approaches for nearly a decade, and it's taken me 10 years to find something that, number one, can be scaled up to the degree that I've been able to scale it up to, and number two, that's just as easy as pie to make money with. All right, and right now I'm pulling in over $30,000 a month. Now, what I used to do is I used to log into my account live and show you guys the sales as they would come in one by one, and just share with you how that whole transaction took place and everything else. But right now, just like Google, Amazon has made it against their terms of service to share any of your live account information. So write that down. Never share my account information. Right? Now, in the next couple of steps, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a 3-step system to making money publishing content to Amazon's Kindle. I'll show you how to tell which markets sell the best. I'll show you how to pick winning titles for your ebooks. And guys, this is really important right here when it comes to picking titles, because you want to make sure that you have titles that are going to attract the attention of your buyers. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a few minutes. Then I'll show you how to create your very own Amazon Kindle account that you can start selling from. I'll also show you how to publish your own ebooks, your reports, your articles, and other content from that account as well. And then I'll give you one of the #1 price points that I've found to make the most amount of profit. I've tested over 50 different price points within the last year, and there's 4 price points that I've found to consistently make the most amount of profit across multiple genres, and I'm going to share one of those with you tonight on this presentation as well. So, step 1. What I want to do during this part of the presentation is show you how to go in and find just hot topics. I mean, topics that people are looking for, topics that people are willing to buy, and you know, the easiest way to make money online is to pretty much find out what people are willing to buy, willing to pay money for, and then provide that to them. So step 1 is research. Write that down. And for this part of the presentation, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to use the Google keyword tool. So if you go to google.com, you'll type in free Google keyword tool, and it should be the first result, all right, that you see here at the top. You'll click onto that link, and you'll see a control panel that looks a bit similar to this one. They recently changed it up just a little bit, but for the most part, it functions exactly the same. Now, in this search box here, what you're going to do is you're going to enter the keywords, the phrases, or the ideas that you're thinking about publishing an ebook for. All right? So, for example, here what I did was I typed in dreams interpretation, what do dreams mean, meaning of dreams, and I hit search. And then what Google is going to do is Google is going to, it's going to pretty much tell you, #1, the amount of searches on a monthly basis that your phrases are getting. And then #2, it's going to give you similar phrases that people are also searching for. And it's going to tell you how many searches those phrases are getting on a monthly basis. Now, here's something that you want to pay attention to. There's 2 columns that you're going to see. One on the left-hand side says global monthly searches. On the right-hand side, you'll see one that says local monthly searches. Which one do we want to pay attention to? Brian, which one do you think they're going to say we want to pay attention to?
You know, Rich has a smart group. I think they're going to get it right. Let's see if everyone's going to vote, because I think they're going to get it right. Yep, Jackie's got it. Mike's got it. Andrew's got it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Diane, there's a buzzer sounding. Try again. Len, the buzzer sounded for you. Try again. Wayne says Wayne's got it right on target.
And Joyce says, okay, so Joyce, Well, actually, guys, if you said global, then give yourself a pat on the back because that's what we want to pay attention to. Remember, we want to get the most profit possible. We want to go after the most amount of sales possible. So we're going to be selling our ebooks globally. So you want to pay attention to your global monthly searches column. Right now, so we entered our phrases here. We hit search. Google says here are the results that come up. Interpretation of dreams, it tells us that we have 2.2 million searches. The meaning of dreams, we have 550,000 searches. All right, meaning of the dreams, we have 550,000. Dreams meaning of, again, 550,000. Dreams interpretation dictionary, 246,000. All right, so there's a lot of search activity that's taking place around these phrases. People want to know what their dreams mean, right? So there's a marketplace for this stuff. So one of the ways that you're going to use this Google keyword tool is to basically find out if there's a market for the ideas that you're thinking about publishing your ebooks for. Does that make sense, guys? Here's another example. So in this example, what I did was I typed in desserts with strawberry. All right, I hit search, and Google tells us here's some of the similar phrases in addition to the phrase that you typed in that people are searching for. All right, so my main phrase, desserts with strawberry, received 33,000 searches within the last 30 days, all right, on a global monthly search basis. And this is just broad match, guys. I know there's some SEO guys that are watching, and there's a reason why I do broad match, and I explain it in the course in detail. All right, strawberry desserts recipes, 12,000 searches. Recipes strawberry desserts, 12,000. Strawberry jello desserts, 1,600. All right, simple strawberry desserts, 1,600. Now, guys, when you're doing your market research, for similar phrases, these are all similar phrases, right? These are phrases that pretty much talk about strawberry desserts. So for similar phrases, you want to make sure that your combined search volume, all right, is between 10,000 and 100,000. All right, write that down, between 10,000 and 100,000. And in the course, I go over this in more detail because we're limited on time. I'm just giving you guys the basics, but the reason why you want to stay between 10,000 and 100,000 is because anything less than 10,000 in the marketplace is just not big enough. It's like having a Lamborghini or a Ferrari on a dead-end street. You've got all this power and no place to go. Anything less or more than 100,000 in the marketplace is just too big. It's oversaturated, right? Or at least has the potential to be oversaturated. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to those numbers. So that's one way that you're going to use this tool, and that's for market research. The other way that you're going to use this tool is to find great titles. Remember when I told you guys earlier that your titles are going to have a lot to do with the amount of success that you have on Amazon? Well, you can use this Google keyword tool to find some really killer titles and really go in and cherry pick some nice titles. Now, all of these phrases are not going to make sense. I mean, grammatically, let's take a look at them. Like dreams meaning of. That just doesn't make sense grammatically, right? Dreams interpretation dictionary. This may be okay. But take a look at this one. The meaning of my dreams. That makes an excellent title. And on top of that, look at this. There's 18,000 people that are typing this phrase in, the meaning of my dreams. All right, if you can piggyback off of this, then you give yourself the advantage. And I'll show you exactly how you do that in just a second. Let's show you another example. So going back to our desserts with strawberry example, right? We look at a few titles here. Recipes for desserts with strawberries, excellent title. Easy strawberry desserts, excellent title. And then of course I go in and I show you how you can even make these titles even better. Alright, so that you really attract attention and bring in massive sales. But do you see how this keyword tool works to your advantage? This is really easy stuff, guys. Don't overcomplicate it. It's extremely easy. I'm a systems guy, and I'm all about creating systems, and I'm all about doing things in an easy way where you don't have to, reinvent the wheel. All right, so use this method to create some killer titles, and when you do that, you'll also be able to go in and use Google and Amazon together to really help catapult your sales. Now, one of the questions that I get is, Ty, we're selling our ebooks on Amazon. Why is it so important for us to use the Google keyword tool to create our titles, right? Well, one of the reasons is because Google really loves fresh content. Google loves fresh content. And there's very few sites that put out more fresh content on a consistent basis than Amazon, right? And the higher you can get your titles ranked in Google, the more money you'll make from people who just happen to be searching Google and come across your titles. And I want to show you guys exactly what I mean by that. Here's an ebook that's titled How to Market and Sell Your Ebook. All right, so an ebook titled "How to Market and Sell Your Ebook." Now, this is a phrase that someone could very well likely type into Google. This is Google over here. All right, we come into Google, we go in, we type in "How to Market and Sell Your Ebook." We're not aware that there's an ebook, there's a Kindle title that's already out there that has the information we're looking for. We're on Google. We hit search. This is the first page of Google. What comes up? We see the paid listings, right? Most people realize that these are paid listings. So what's going to happen? They're going to scroll past these. They're not going to even pay attention. They're going to come down to the first, second, third listing. Which of these listings out of all of the listings here stand out the most? And Brian, let's see if they get it right. Which of those listings stand out the most? What do you got that's coming up here?
Okay, Debbie says Amazon.
I like what Terry says. Terry says this is fantastic.
Yeah, I know, right? Terry loved. We get a lot of people, actually, Ty, a lot of people that are your students popping in saying, "This is awesome. You got to do this. It's incredible what's coming through here." The one with all the stars, 5 stars because of the stars. I think we're dancing with the stars tonight here. I always click on the Amazon one first, says Jill. That's great, Jill, and that, and that's what Amazon's counting on. Kate says Amazon stars. Oh yeah.
Debbie has it.
Sure.
Debbie says, "I live on Amazon. They have high credibility."
That's exactly right. There she is.
Absolutely. So, guys, look at this. So if you use Google and Amazon together, right, using the way that I teach you, here's what happens. You now have the ability to get your books listed higher in Google, right? And as Debbie just pointed out, Amazon has amazing credibility, right? Now, that's one reason why this listing stands out. The other reason, as many of you pointed out, is because of the stars. Look at the rating here. All right, again, it's a credibility point, right? They can instantly go in and see that there's a product being sold on Amazon that covers the subject that they just typed in, that has a 5-star rating, and on top of that, it has 47 reviews. Now, obviously, when you first publish your ebook, you're not going to have 47 reviews, right? You might have 1 or 2, but you build it up to that point. And on top of that, they can also go in and they can instantly see how much this item is being sold for, and they can get a quick description as to what it covers. All right. So do you see that? Star rating, number of reviews, price point, Amazon, which is built-in credibility. All right. Just a quick blurb, synopsis of what the ebook is about. And what do you think is the most powerful thing about this listing here, guys? All right, really quickly, because I don't want you guys to miss this. I don't want you to miss this. What do you think is the most powerful thing about this listing? Len says a testimonial. Ann says Amazon is doing your marketing. Yes, that's good, Ann. I like that.
That's great. That's great. The abstract says Debbie. Reviews says Dan. I love what Jeff's got it right there too. $4.99 in stock. 1 click to buy. Scott says the cheap price.
It shows you where you can go. It's like a mini promotion, says Debbie. Starts with Amazon.com, says Craig. You can make money when someone clicks on this, says Kate. Lots of reviews, says Mark. Interaction, instant download, says Kiri. Yes.
That's good.
It has a headline, testimonial, says Debbie. Yeah. All right, so here's...
I like what Gary says. 1 click to cash. That's a great book title, actually.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I trust Amazon. Easy to buy. Review is exciting. Free advertising, says Mike. This is a very bright crowd. You guys really know this.
Very bright. Awesome. And you know what? Everything that you guys just said is 100% correct. But Gary says that's mine. But take a look at this, guys. Not only does this title appear on the first page of Google, no one got this, I don't think. But it's the first page of Google's second position. Do you guys see that? Do you see how... I want to spend some time on this because I want you to realize how powerful this is. It's the first page of Google's second position. First page ranking, says Mark. Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, I want to show you something else, guys. Let's go in. I will show you another example. Here's another ebook, How to Earn Passive Income in a Lousy Economy. Something that could very well be searched for on Google. We hit search. Now take a look at what happens. We have everything that we just spoke about, right? The Amazon listing, the reviews, the price point, the blurb, the Amazon site. But what else do you guys see here? First page of Google, first position, second position, in third position. Len has it. Number 1 ranking, number 2 ranking, number 3 ranking, Len. Absolutely. 3 times the money, says Len. Absolutely. Do you guys see how powerful this is? All right? And this is when you use Amazon and Google together. So you're literally using 2 multi-billion-dollar powerhouses to help you make money. So use that Google keyword tool to find topics and create titles. And what I want to do now is, because your titles are so important, I want to discuss a few more ways to create some killer titles. What I've done over the last year is I've created what I call my title enhancers. And these are pretty much elements that I add to my titles that have allowed me to double and triple my sales. And let's just go in and take a look at some of these. Pay attention to these, guys, because if you get this right, then it's really going to help you out. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna really put you ahead of the curve. And then of course I really elaborate on this in more detail. So title enhancers pretty much are elements that answer a question. So here's a couple of them: how to, quickest way to, fastest way to, easy ways to, tips to, ways to, cheapest way to, best way to, tips to. All right, I got tips to in here twice, but that's fine. Right, because these are answering questions. People ask their questions, how can I get this done? What's the quickest way for me to get this done? What are some easy ways for me to get this done? I'm on a budget. What are some of the cheapest ways for me to get this done? So when you add these title enhancers to your titles, you now answer the questions that your prospects are asking of themselves in their heads. Does that make sense, guys? Now, remember I told you that I spent a lot of money. I've looked at different products, and one of my pet peeves is just going through products that don't really explain things in detail. So when I explain, I want to make sure that everyone understands what I'm going through, because I don't want anyone to be lost. So does that make sense? Does it make sense that your title enhancers are answering questions that your prospects are already asking of themselves in their head? So for example, here, 21 quickest ways to make money online. The person that's looking for this type of an ebook is asking himself, how can I make money online? Do you see how the title is answering his question? For a person that's looking for the ebook, the fastest way to get your nursing degree, is asking him or herself, how can I get my nursing degree quickly? Alright? The person that's looking for the title of the world's best kept tips to losing weight is asking him or herself, what are some of the best tips to losing weight? So do you see how your title enhancers answer the question that they're asking of themselves in their head? Here, let me break it down for you even more. You've got a guy by the name of Johnny, and for the last 6 months, Johnny has been promising his wife that he's going to go out and stain the deck. And it just so happens that it's a weekend, it's about 90 degrees outside, and his wife says, Johnny, if you don't get out there and stain that deck this weekend, you're going to be sleeping on the deck. Johnny picks up his Amazon Kindle and he types in stain deck. He's never done it before, so in his head he's asking himself, how am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? He's sweating bullets, right? He comes across 2 titles. One that reads, learn to stain your deck, and one that reads, how to stain your deck like a professional. Which one of the 2 titles do you think stands out the most to Johnny when he sees these 2 titles? Which of the 2? Let's see. How to, says Andrew. What do you see on there, Brian? Professional, says Marianne. Second one says Maggie.
Yeah, we've got like a professional, says Carrie. How to, says Chris. Len's all about absolutely. Len's excited. Marcia first, like a pro. One on the left. Yep. Yeah, they got it.
They got it. Absolutely, guys. So you guys see how this works. So this one, it's how to stain your deck like a professional, because it's answering the question. He's on Amazon, he's on his Kindle, he's asking, how am I going to stain this deck? He sees the title that's titled, How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional. So this, again, it answers the questions that your prospects are already asking of themselves in their head. And when you do this stuff, when you use the title enhancers, it gives you an advantage. It gives you an advantage. So psychologically, it gives you that edge that you need. All right? So here's another reason why the title enhancers work so well. Another thing that you can do is you can take the title enhancer. So in this example, I took the title enhancer, how to, and then I combine it with the topic or the idea that I'm thinking about publishing an ebook for. So in this case, it's garden. So we have how to garden, then we hit search. Now again, Google, they're going to give us the search volume for our main phrase that we entered here, how to garden, right? And they tell us on a global monthly searches basis, there were 45 million searches conducted for this phrase. Now, is that within our desired search criteria or not? 45 million. Is that what we're looking for? What do you guys think? Let's see who gets. Len says no. Mike Combs says nope. Debbie, too big. Andrew, too high. No, says Sean. No, says Vance. Jacqueline says no. Marcia, too many. Carrie, too high. Elaine, too high. Richard, you guys are right on it. I love this. I'm excited. You guys are right on it. I love it.
They're quick on the draw. This is very sharp. This is great.
They are.
Sean is repeating everything you've taught. 10,000 to 100,000. Perfect.
Awesome. Now, but remember, so Google is also going to give us similar phrases that people are searching for, right? So here's 4 of the similar phrases that they've given us: how to make a garden, how to design a garden, how to build a raised garden bed, how to plant a garden. Which of these 4 phrases do you think would make the ideal ebook? Which of those 4? What do you guys think?
Okay, no pressure, guys. No pressure.
So let's see what's coming in.
Let's see. Debbie's got it. Len's got it. Mike, try again, Mike. Jill's got it. Let's see. Roberta, you got it.
You're coming in fast and furious.
Yeah, I can't keep up. It's great. Oh, the cat wanted in. Okay, Wayne, that's a good one. Gavin's got it. Vance, try again.
Mike Combs has it.
Yep. How to design a garden. Yep.
Well, guys,
perfect.
Take a look at this, right? So, how to make a garden, right? That has 200,000 searches. So that's way above our desired search criteria. How to design a garden, 550,000 searches. Again, way beyond and above our desired search criteria. How to build a raised garden bed, 12,100 searches. Ding, ding, ding. That makes it right there, right? Because remember, we want between 10,000 to 100,000. The other reason why this works so well is, why else do you guys think this works so well? And I told Rich and Tom that I'm going to over-deliver, so I'm really grilling you guys on this, because if you're going to get this, if you get this stuff right, you'll do really well with this, especially when you get the course. Gary says it's a targeted audience. Exactly. Low competition for the keyword, says Mike Combs. Specificity, says Gwen. Specific market, says Jacqueline. It's specific, says James. Very specific information, says Randy. Long tail keyword, David. Absolutely.
David's got it right there. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So take a look at this, guys. How to build a raised garden bed. Not only do you have people who want to learn how to build a garden bed, but they want to learn how to build a raised garden bed. Do you think if you had 12,000 people who typed in how to build a raised garden bed, and you had an ebook that was titled how to build a raised garden bed, do you think it would be hard or difficult to sell to those 12,000 people? What do you think, guys? Yes or no? Easy, says Jill. Easy, says Marcia. Easy, says Andrew.
Easy peasy, says Jacqueline.
I like that,
That's
Jacqueline.
great.
Awesome. Candy from a baby, says Mike.
Ah, yes. Piece of cake, says Marianne.
Debbie says, Marianne says, candy from a baby. Debbie says, taking candy from a baby. Absolutely, says John. Absolutely, guys. So again, this is not hard stuff. This is very easy. Very easy. All right? And that's why. So it's got the title enhancer in there. It's talking to a very specific market. It's within our desired search criteria. And the title is just amazing. I should have kept this one to myself, but I promised that I would over-deliver. So just, guys, don't tell my wife that I gave away this gem. This is literally a gem right here. All right? Debbie says this is almost easy enough to make you feel guilty. Not. Absolutely, gem. Debbie. All right, so there you go, guys. I hope you wrote that down. Step 1 is to conduct your research, right? Step 2 is to create the content. Now, do you remember at the very top of this presentation I told you that I'm not a writer and you don't have to be a writer to do extremely well with this? Well, there's 2 ways that you can get your content created, all right? So if you haven't written that down yet, write down step 1 is do the research, step 2, create the content. And again, guys, just keep in mind that I'm giving you the basics here. In the course, I give you everything, the entire step-by-step process to take this entire system to scale so that you can really make money with it. So in my preferred order, right, the 2 ways that you can get content created is, number 1, have someone else write it for you. And this is the method. Because I don't like writing, this is the method that I use the most. And I've actually created a system within this course that shows you how you can have people write your content for as little as $50. Content that you own 100% of the rights to, that you can resell as long and as often as you want to, and content that you can even put your name or a pen name on if you wanted to. All right? And in this course, I also give you the only 3 sites. I've tested dozens of outsourcing and freelancing sites over the last year, and there's 3 of them that I found to be the most reputable, the most credible, and that just their service providers just really provide great high-quality content, and that's what we want to upload to are accounts. It's high quality content. So in this course I give you the only 3 sites you should use when you're looking to have someone write your content. And I give you the exact wording that you should use when you're looking for that person. Alright, so easy stuff. The other way of getting your content created is to, just go in and write it yourself. This is not my favorite option, but if you're a writer, then this would be for you. Brian, I know you're a writer. I have another friend of mine who's a writer, and you guys don't mind writing, so that's the second option for you. And if anyone else is watching this presentation, if you're a writer like Brian, then that's where you come in. If you're,
I'll tell you though, Ty. I'm going to jump in for a second. I'm a writer, but to me, these are not the kind of books I love to write. These are books that are money-making books for me. If I have a passion for writing, I'll write all day long. But this is making money, and it takes too much time. I want to outsource, and I outsource my books same way you are because it's just faster and better. And this is a business.
Right. And it's a business where you create multiple streams of income as well. So good point. Now the last step is we did our market research in step 1, right? We found out what people want to buy. We found out if there's a market for the topics and the genres that we were thinking about creating ebooks for. Step 2, we went in. We showed you how to get the content created. Step 3 is to publish that content. Now, guys, what I like to do is, and what I told Rich and Tom, what I would want to do is go in and show you guys how easy Amazon makes it for you to, number 1, create your account, and number 2, upload your content once you have that account created. I want to do that now, but I only want to do that if you guys are getting value out of this presentation. Are you getting value out of this presentation or not? Because if not, maybe I'll go back to bed. I've got an early flight to take tomorrow morning. Okay, awesome value, says Calvin. Absolutely, says Mike. I like. Somebody says, does a hobby horse have a hickory stick? I love that, man. All right, so yeah, let's do this.
Debbie says, don't make me come down there.
I love that. You guys are a fun bunch. Not only are you intelligent and you're right on point, but you're a fun bunch. I like this. So here's what we're going to do, guys. The first thing you want to do is, when you're ready to create your account, you're going to go to kdp.amazon.com. Don't do it now. I'll go there for you. I want to show you exactly how you do this. So I want you to pay attention to my screen. And you know what? I want to show you something really quickly before you do that. Guys, take a look at this. CNN. Publishing to Kindle is just all over the place right now. This is CNN.com, right? Ownership of tablets and e-readers almost doubles in 1 month. All right? TechCrunch. Amazon. We sold over 4 million Kindle devices this month. Ebooks up 175% in the gifting purposes. You've got the Forbes article I shared with you earlier. You've got the Wall Street Journal. I guess that site's down. You've got eweek.com. Kindle Fire racks up over $100 in content sales, meaning that every person who purchases a Kindle Fire will usually go in and buy $100 worth of content for it within that first month. Let's see. We've got WebPro News. Kindle best-selling product across Europe and the U.S. Amazon Kindle triple sales from last year. So not only is it me and Rich and Tom and Brian that's telling you how great publishing to Kindle is, but you've got all of these credible publications like CNN, like Forbes, like the Wall Street Journal site that doesn't want to come up right now that's talking about this stuff. Oh, turning Amazon cash to Kindling. They're talking about publishing content to Amazon's Kindle and turning that into cash. And these are recent articles. Look, February 1st, guys. All right, February 1st here. All right, so I just wanted to show you that really quickly before I forgot. Now, when you're ready to go in and set up your account, don't do this now. Just pay attention to my screen because I don't want you to miss anything. I'm going to really cover some crucial information here. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go in and you're going to hit Don't Have an Account. And, Brian, if you have a way, I don't know if Tom Bill, I think he's taking notes back there. He might have muted himself out. He's
I'm here. I'm here, Ty.
All right, Tom, if you have a way of timing this, what I want to do is I want to show them how quickly they can go in and set up their account.
Okay.
All right, and let me know whenever you're ready to start that timer. And Tom, let me know if this is good stuff for your audience so far, man. I was sweating bullets earlier today. I said I gotta over deliver for these guys.
You're making it happen, and my pen is moving fast, and I like the interaction. And you're right, we do have a smart bunch, so I'm happy that they're happy. Let's kick it off. I'm ready to be the timer whenever you tell me to.
All right, so let's do it. So the first thing you're gonna do, guys, is you're gonna click Don't Have an Amazon Account. Then you'll hit Sign Up. You'll put in your email address here. So let's see. We'll put in tomrichtest@yahoo.com, and this will be your email address. You'll put I am a new customer. Now, I don't know why they phrase it that way, because as you'll see in just a bit, Amazon doesn't charge you for creating an account. They don't charge you for creating an account. All right? Amazon wants you to make money, guys. Why do you think they want you to make money? Why do you think they want you to make money? And what you're going to do here is and while you guys are answering that, I'll continue. I want to see who gets it right. You'll put in your name, and I'll put love this. What do you got, Brian?
Yeah, here we go. Gary's got it. Gary's very simple. They make money too. That's how they make money. They get a cut. They make money. You share, produce more content. Win-win. They love the split because they'll make money. They're getting it. Yep, absolutely. Wayne's right on target. Dollar sign, Wayne. I like the way you think.
Absolutely. So Amazon, they want you to make as much money as possible, because when you make money, they make money. Now, keep that in mind, because I'm going to show you a few ways that they make it easy for you to make money, which in turn makes them money. This is the terms of service agreement that you're going to see when you first create your account. This is for the U.S. Amazon site. All right? You'll read this. Make sure you understand everything. Then you hit agree. Now, the reason why I said that was for the U.S. terms of service in their site is because Amazon also allows you to sell your content to their German site, their UK site, their French site, their Spanish site, and their Italian site. So again, they want you to make as much money as possible. And you can do that just by uploading your ebook to this one control panel, and it gets distributed to all of those international sites. All right, you'll read this, and if you agree, you hit agree. Once that's completed, you'll come up here. Your name will be up here. You'll click onto your name. All right? And these are all of your international sites that your content will be sold from. All right? You'll see your name here. And then I know that you guys have an international list of subscribers. We probably have people from just literally across the planet on this presentation. If you're outside of the United States, let me know what country you're from. If you're outside of the United States, what country are some of you guys from? All right, so we've got Canada, says Linda. UK, says Paul. Australia. Spain, says Ed. All right, so you guys are probably wondering, can you do this if you're outside of the U.S.? So let's take a look at some of the countries that just answered. The U.S., we've got the UK, we've got Canada, we've got Australia.
Sweden and Panama.
Let's see, Sweden.
Elaine's a marketer. She says Mars and Venus, and she's got an itch.
So let's see, we've got Sweden. And Rich, we just got back, and Brian, you were with us. Rich, we just got back from Panama, so let's see if Panama's on there. All right. What was the other place we went to, Rich? It was...
Tom, we went to Costa Rica and Mexico.
Okay, so Costa Rica's on this. You can even be from Costa Rica, and you can publish to Amazon's Kindle. And we also went to Mexico, so you can be from Mexico. And I have some students that are actually from Mexico that are in Russia. I've got students that are in Romania. So, guys, look at this. You can be from South Africa. You can be from the Ukraine. You can be from Uganda. You can be from Nigeria. You can be from literally almost any planet, any country on the planet, and still publish to Amazon's Kindle, because, again, they want you to make as much money as possible. When you make money, they make money. And then what's going to happen is you'll put your address here. You'll put your city here. You'll put your state here. You'll put your zip code here. And then you'll put your phone number here. So pretty straightforward, right, guys? All right, and then what you're going to do here is when you come down here, your tax reporting name. This is the name, very important, guys. This is the name that you want Amazon to make your checks out to. Or if you choose to have them deposit your royalties into your account electronically every month into your bank account, that's the name that you'll put here as well. All right, so I'll put John Smith, we'll say. All right. Then you'll choose your business type. If you're an individual, you can select individual. If you have a partnership or a corporation, a C Corp or S Corp, you can choose the appropriate type. But for simplicity's sake, we'll leave it set to individual. And then we'll enter a social or tax identification number or EIN number. You can also do this if you're outside of the U.S. and you don't have one of these guys as well, yes. Then you'll choose each of Amazon's sites. All right, the U.S. site, the UK site, the German site, the French site, the Spanish one, and the Italian site. And you'll tell them how you want to be paid for your royalties that are brought in for the sales that come in from each of those sites. So here you can choose check or electronic funds transfers. We'll leave it set to check for each of these. All right, and then you hit save. So Tom, how long did that take to go in and create the account? It'll say account information is being saved, and then you'll see what says your account has been created. What did that take there?
5 minutes, 21 seconds.
Oh, 5 minutes. I'm getting slow in my old age there. 5 minutes, 21 seconds.
As you talked them through it, though, you did have some soapbox moments. You're talking them through it, so that was good.
There you go. Thank you for the consultation there. Thank you for that. So to say, your account has been created, and you're good to go now, guys. Now that we have the account created, do you want to see how easy Amazon has made it for you to go in and upload your account, your content, I should say? All right. What do you think? Len, we can't say that, Len. Len says yes, and not so many words. Gary says yes. All right. Let's see. Absolutely. Okay, so now we have our content created, right? We've got our ebook back, whether we wrote it ourselves or whether we had someone outsource it and write it for us. We're going to go in and we're going to upload it. And again, remember, Amazon makes this entire process easy. They don't charge you to go in and set up your account because they're dependent on you guys to create content. How many guys remember what Amazon's original mission was when they first went into business? Who remembers that? What was their original mission when they first went into business? To sell used books, says
Used books.
Debbie says, I don't know. Own the world, says Craig. Annie H., you got it. Annie says the Earth's largest bookstore. James says the same thing. Absolutely.
That's right.
Biggest bookseller, says Heather. Right. That was their original mission, was to become the planet's largest bookstore. Physical bookstore, right? Because that's what we knew primarily. Except for us information marketers. We were the only ones crazy enough to talk about ebooks, right? But now that digital books are outselling physical books 2 to 1, all right, Amazon needs us to maintain that #1 position. Do you guys get that? Does that make sense at all? Amazon needs us, and they need our content to make sure that they maintain that #1 position. Especially now that they have competitors like Apple with the iBook store, they have Barnes & Nobles with the Nook, right? So where do they get the content for their digital ebooks? They get it from us. That's why they've created this platform. That's why they've made it open to anyone. All right. Andrea says they need their working ants. Absolutely. Well, in not so many words, yes. And you'll see how they actually give us the lion's share of all of the sales that come in. So, Tom, if you're ready, I'm going to go in. I'm going to show them how they can go in and upload their content once they have it available. Let me know whenever you're ready, and we'll time that as well.
I'm ready. Just tell me when.
Okay, so guys, the first thing you're going to do is you'll come into your control panel, you'll hit bookshelf, all right, and then you'll hit add new title. And then what you're going to do is, remember I told you that your titles are like your first line of defense. Studies show that more people make their book buying decision based off of a title than anything else. So you really want to put some effort into your title. Now, just for simplicity's sake, what I am going to do, I'm going to go in and I'm going to put in a pretty simple title right now. In the course, I really show you how to go in and maximize the space so that you can really maximize your sales in turn, right? So you put your title there, and then in your description area, you're going to put in your description as well. Amazon gives you 4,000 characters that you can put here. You want to use as many of these 4,000 characters as possible. This is going to help you sell, all right? Tell your prospect what your ebook is about. You know, you can sell both fact and fiction. I heard someone ask that. I saw someone ask that earlier. If you have a story, let them know, you know, how you came up with the story, who are some of your characters, how you came up with the characters, what are some of the ordeals or some of the things that they go through in the story as well. And then you'll come down to it says book contributors. You can add your contributor. You can actually include your real name here, or you can use a pen name if you wanted to. You can add multiple authors if you wanted to. So you can add a Jane Smith, all right? You can add an illustrator or a translator or a narrator if you wanted to. All right. Then you'll hit save. You'll come down here. You'll choose your language. Now take a look at this. I really love this because you can publish your ebooks in English as well as in any of these languages. So Spanish, German, French, Italian, or Portuguese. Okay. For most of you guys, it's probably going to be English. But if you wanted to publish in any of these languages, you have that option. Again, Amazon wants you to make as much money as possible, so they give you the outlet to make as much money as possible. Publication date. There's something really cool with this that I talk about in the course but I don't have enough time to cover it right now. But you'll just put your publication date in, all right? And then publisher, this is totally optional. You don't have to put anything near. ISBN number, you don't have to put anything near. These are digital ebooks, so you don't need an ISBN number. Verifying your publishing rights. Guys, you should always choose this is not a public domain work, because remember earlier when I told you that Amazon and Google are similar in a few ways. Number one, Google and Amazon, both of them don't like you sharing account information, okay? Number two, they just like high quality content added to their sites, okay? Number three, they don't like duplicate content, all right? And anything like PLR material or public domain material can be considered duplicate content. So you should never upload private label rights material, PLR material, or public domain material to your account. All right? And we'll cover what those are later on when we get to the Q&A session if you guys have questions about any of that stuff. All right? But because I'm being timed now, I'm going to breeze through this for now. If you want to know more, just remember to ask that question. Add categories. Here's another area where you want to be highly relevant. Just like with your title, you want to choose the most relevant categories. So for us, it would be health and fitness for this example. And then we would go down to women's health for our subcategory and weight loss for our second subcategory. Amazon allows you to choose 2 subcategories. Now for your keywords, again, you want to go after really targeted keywords, all right? Laser targeted keywords. You don't want to go after general keywords like health. You want to go after something like women's health or weight loss for women versus just weight loss, okay? You are allowed to enter 7 keywords, so you want to make sure that you enter 7 keywords, all right? Or phrases, actually, because every time you enter the comma, that's considered a new phrase or keyword. So make sure you use as many of those as possible. Your ebook cover. This is where you're going to add your ebook cover. And your ebook cover should always be uploaded in the form of a JPEG or a TIFF. Okay, JPEG or a TIFF. It takes just a couple of seconds for it to upload. You'll see where it says uploaded successfully. You'll see your cover here. You can close out. And then your ebook file, right? You're going to go in. You'll browse your ebook file. Now you can upload your ebook in either a Word doc file format or an HTML file format. I like to go with the Word doc file format because it's just a lot cleaner, it's a lot easier, and it's just simpler. Remember, we're all about doing things the easiest way possible in a systematic way, as long as it generates results, all right, and high quality results. Usually takes about a minute for your ebook to upload. And then once it's done, we're going to go to the second part of this, which is where we tell Amazon what price point our ebook should be sold at and how much of royalty we want to be paid for each copy that's sold, right? So to say upload and conversion successful, you can go in. You can actually go in and preview your ebook, all right, if you wanted to see how it's going to look on the Kindle. And then after that, you would hit save and continue. All right, so here, step 7, verifying your publishing territories. What do you see that Amazon has pre-selected here? Worldwide rights versus individual territories. Now, if I select individual territories, we can say, Amazon, we want our ebooks to only be sold in the UK or only sold in Canada, right? But they had worldwide rights selected. Why do you think they had that selected? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Go worldwide so you can maximize your sales potential, Gary says. Bigger market, mass audience, says Gary. Yeah.
Wayne's got it. Diane's got it. Yeah, they all got it. Advanced to sell more. Allows them to distribute more and more sales potential. Mo money. I love what Marcia said. Mo money. Don't limit sales potential. Exactly.
Absolutely. Exactly. And you know, the reason why is because, again, they want you to make as much money as possible, right? The more money you make, the more money they make. All right? So I suggest that you stick with their recommendations. All right? And leave it set to worldwide rights, because the more eyeballs that sees your ebook, the greater your chance of selling more copies. All right, and then we come down to step 8 here. And here's where we choose our royalty. Now take a look at this. Again, this is something else that Amazon has tested, and they've got it right here. They give you 2 royalty options: 35% royalty option or 70% royalty option. Now with 35% royalty option, you can price your ebooks between 99 cents and $200. All right, so let's say if we priced our ebook at I don't know, $4.99. Well, let's say $2.99. you would earn a royalty of $1.05 for each copy sold. All right, that's not much money there. Now, if you select the 70% royalty option, Amazon says we'll give you 70%, but we need your ebooks to be between $2.99 and $9.99. Now look how much money you make at the 70% royalty option, $2.09, so twice as much, right? Now the question is, why do you think Amazon wants you to price your ebooks between $2.99 and $9.99? And guys, if you get this, then you really get it. This is crucial. Think about that. Why do you think they want you to price your ebooks between $2.99 and $9.99? Better chance of selling, says Wayne. Easier impulsive sell. Who just said that? That's it. Whoever just said that, the answers are coming in so quickly. Andrew said impulsive sell. That's exactly it. All right. They understand that price points between $2.99 and $9.99, and this is not just theory. They've tested so many different price points, so much more than I could ever imagine to test. They understand that price points between $2.99 and $9.99 are impulsive price points. All right, and if you price your ebooks between those two prices, people are more likely to purchase it. All right, so does that make sense? Now, remember when I told you I tested over 50 different price points? Well, luckily for you guys, one of the #1 price points, all right, this is actually the 4th most profitable price point out of all 4. I give you the 3 most profitable price points in the course. But the 4th most profitable price point is $8.97. And it's between $2.99 and $9.99. And look at the amount of royalty that we earn. It's $6.27. Do you see that? So once you determine your price point, all right, you simply go here, you check these boxes, and you tell Amazon to sell your ebook at this price point, but at these currency equivalents, and to pay you, all right, this royalty rate, but at these currency equivalents. Does that make sense, guys? Do you get that? And the reason why this works so well is because it's between these two impulsive price points, and I've tested this, guys. When I first started testing this, I said, you know, this has got to be a fluke. So what I did was I tested it across multiple different genres. I tested it between fact and fiction, between just different topics. And 90% of the times, it's always proven to be right that this price point, as well as the other 3 price points, always generate the most amount of profit. That's what we're after. We're after the most amount of money that we can get deposited into our account, right? Then once you're set with your price point, you go in, you pretty much tick this box, you tell them that you agree to their terms of service, you hit save and publish, and you'll see that your ebook is being published. Once you go to your bookshelf, you'll see it live on your bookshelf here. No, actually not live, I'm sorry. It's in the review stages. It actually takes about a day to 3 days for it to become live, right? Let me just go to my bookshelf. And here's the title, here's the offer name, here's the price point, and it's in review. And again, I said it takes about a day to 3 days, depending on, you know, what day of the week you submit it, to become live. And that's a simple step, guys. I mean, every time you upload a new ebook, it becomes a new income stream. All right, Tom, how long did that take for us to go in and show them how to upload each new income stream, each new ebook?
10 minutes, 10 seconds.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's not bad there. So, guys, 10 minutes to go in and create an income stream. Every single ebook that you upload to your account becomes a new income stream, a recurring monthly residual income stream. All right, so again, the bottom line is Amazon wants you to make as much money as possible. That's why they've made it easy. As you guys just saw, you don't have to be, you know, someone that's an expert at building WordPress sites or landing pages or websites in general. You just go in, you create your account, you upload the content, and that's that. Amazon sells, Amazon markets for you. All right, ebooks are the new billion-dollar market. All right, and according to Forrester Research, nearly $3 billion worth of ebooks were sold last year. Think about that, guys, $3 billion worth. And by 2016, that number is expected to triple to $10 billion. $10 billion. How would you like to have had the opportunity to get on the ground floor of something like Apple or Microsoft or even Amazon when it first got started? Right? This is the ground floor opportunity that you're getting in on right now because it's still new. There's just so many people that are just still piling into the whole Kindle craze and better just purchasing these things. And one of the reasons why this just works so well and why it will continue to work well is because Amazon is doing everything in their power to make the Kindle, all right, something that everyone has, whether it's the physical Kindle device or it's the Kindle application. As a matter of fact, just to prove that to you, here, what they've recently done is they now have a $79 Kindle, so it's under $100. They have a Kindle Touch, which is just right at $100. And then they have the Kindle Fire, which is a full-color Kindle device that some people are actually comparing to the iPad. Right? It's got a full-color browser, full-color library capabilities, and it's just $200, guys. Just $200. All right? And these things are sweet. As a matter of fact, the buddy of mine, Harlan Kilstein, had sent my kids some of these things for Christmas. And they're just so Amazon is just doing everything in their power to make sure as many people as possible get a Kindle. All right. Another reason why it works so well is because Amazon and Apple, think about this. Amazon is one of the world's largest holders of credit card numbers. They have close to 300 million credit card numbers on file. And just to prove that to you guys, how many people that are watching this presentation right now have ever purchased something from Amazon? If you've ever purchased something from Amazon, let me know. Gary says yes. Let's see, who else? I can't be the only one. Let's see, what do we have here, Brian? They own my soul.
Heaps, tons of stuff. Duh, of course. Sure, daily. Yes, yo. 10 books a week all the time, says Rebecca. Maggie's got it right on target, too. Buy with one click, she says. Scott, all the time. Arlene, yes. Everyone is admitting this. I hope that their spouses aren't watching this. Every month, all the time. It's my habit.
Absolutely.
Books and Kindle books.
So we just had 90% of individuals that are watching this presentation just said yes, that they've purchased from Amazon at one point. And Ed just said he's an addict, like myself. I mean, I'm always ordering something. As a matter of fact, if Brian or if Tom would have just, mentioned a book that they're reading, I would probably go in and pick up my Samsung Galaxy. I don't have a Kindle, but I do have a Galaxy that has the Kindle application on it. And I would probably go in and purchase the book that they recommended to me within 5 minutes of them recommending it. All right. So, guys, they've made the whole entire process of buying ebooks easy. They have nearly 300 million credit card numbers on file. They've mastered the art of simplistic buying, right? As one of you guys just pointed out, they have a one-click system. You simply just go in. We don't even have to go in and enter our credit card numbers anymore. You don't have to go into your wallet. You don't have to dig into your pocket and take out your debit card or your credit card. You can simply hit buy now, and your purchase is made. Your ebook is downloaded to your device. All right, they've mastered the art of impulsive buying. As you just saw, they've tested so many different price points where they've actually come up with a series of price points where they will actually increase your royalties if you price your ebooks between those two price points, because they know that those are the impulsive price points. All right? So, and the other thing is 90% of the individuals that are watching this presentation just admitted to buying something at some point on Amazon, if not regularly. All right? Now, here's a screenshot of the deposits that were made into my bank account by Amazon. Remember earlier I shared with you that when I first opened my account, I opted for the physical check option. Now, I recently switched my account, actually not recently, maybe about 6 months ago, to the EFT option where Amazon automatically, all right, deposits my royalties into my bank account every single month, like clockwork, the first week of the month, every single month. I never have to worry about Amazon not making my deposits. I never have to worry about the affiliate payment not being made. All right? Like clockwork. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're totally reliable. So, and what they do is they pay you your royalties for each of the sites that your ebooks are sold on. So, for example, here's, well, let's start with the smallest one. All right? This was for my German sales, and it was in the amount of $493.84. So these were for the ebook sales that were made from their German site. This dollar amount here was for the ebook sales that I made that came in from their UK site, $5,506.75. And then the larger one here was for the ebook sales that were made from the U.S. site, $23,386.41. Now, your U.S. sales are always going, in most cases, they're going to make up the bulk of your royalties, only because the U.S. site is just the larger site, right? And it doesn't matter where you're at on the planet. You can be in the UK, you can be in Canada, you can be in Australia, you can be in Sweden, you can be in Mexico. You're usually, pretty much, you're going to sell most of your ebooks in the U.S., all right? So that's where most of your money is going to be made, all right? Which is pretty cool, right? You can be in another country and make most of your money from sales that come in from another country, totally different from where you're at, right? This is why, you know, we call this a diamond mine, guys. How would you like to have your own diamond mine? I mean, what could something like this do for your life? What could something like this do for your life, guys? I want to hear from you. How could this change your life? Put your answer in the questions box. I love reading the responses here. I mean, you saw one of the individuals that I shared with you at the top of his presentation was a gentleman by the name of John Locke. He only has 9 titles, and according to Amazon, he sold over 1 million copies in just under a year, 5 months to be exact. Could you use something like this to pay your mortgage, to get a better home, to get out of debt, to start a business? Let's see, what are some of the answers that we have? Let's see, I would leave my 9 to 5 and travel, Andrea says. Absolutely. I mean, and that's what my wife and I have been doing, just a lot of traveling. We just got back from Puerto Rico a couple months ago. We just went to Panama, Costa Rica, and Mexico with Tom Bill and with Brian Douglas. And so, yeah, freedom, income, travel.
My daughter could stay in college. I like this one. I can change my address.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My granddaughter's graduate studies fully funded, and she's only 5. That's great, Marilyn.
Right. So there you go, guys. Invest. Someone just said, absolutely smart, and that's very smart, guys. Once you start to make money, you really want to do some smart things with it so it continues to grow. I mean, but one of my students, he said, Ty, my dream is to get a maid, and that's what he's doing now. He has a maid that comes by and takes care of him pretty much. Could you buy a house, put it towards your kid's future? I mean, the possibilities are pretty much limitless. All right. The beautiful thing about this, guys, is each ebook becomes its own income stream. And your sales stack up month after month with very little effort, if any additional work on your part. So as a matter of fact, when I shared with you earlier the images of my checks, the work that I did to get those checks, it was done one time. That was it. And that was me getting the content created, doing the market research, getting the content created, and uploading it to my account. All right. As a matter of fact, when I first started, I took content that I had written myself many years ago, and I tested that content, and I said, if this stuff sells, then I know I can go in and do well with this. All right. And the cool thing about this, guys, is if you want to make more money, you simply take a few minutes and you just add more titles to your account. It's that easy. All right. There's no such thing as a push button get rich quick system, and you guys are smart enough to understand that. But this is close, and this works. All right. There's a 3-step system to this. Step 1, as I shared with you earlier, is you conduct the research. Step 2 is create your content. Step 3 is publish that content. All right. Anyone can do this. I saw someone ask earlier, can I do this if I'm outside of the U.S.? Yes. This is not Amazon's associate program. This is their KDP program. So anyone can do this. You can do this regardless of what country you're in. You can do this regardless of what state you're in. Okay, this is their KDP program. So again, if you're tired of the same old thing, this is for you guys. If you're tired of the same old thing, this is